Hi everyone. In this tutorial, we will learn user list from collection module in Python. You may need to create custom list like classes with modified behavior, new functionality or both. Let me explain the modified behavior with help of program. I have a simple code snippet to validate a value. This validate method actually checks if the value is less than equals to 100, then it will return true, otherwise it will return false. We have a blank list here and asking user to input any value. And then we are validating the value. If it is less than equals to 100, then only this value would be appended into the list. It will ask user to input a value. We input 25. It will print the value in the list. And we input the value greater than 100. It will not add any element into this list. So here the point is, every time when you have to append any new item into the list, you have to use this if condition everywhere. So in order to handle this thing in Python, you can inherit from abstract base class, built in list class directly, or inherit from user list, which lives in collection module. Let's see the implementation. I'm just removing this code and I have a program to save some time, right? We are using mutable sequence type to validate our list. What we are doing here, we are validating the value whether it is instance of integer type, it has value less than equals to 100. So this check we are implementing in this validated list itself. So this is a subclass for us and we are inheriting mutable sequence. In order to fulfill all the requirements, we have to implement all these methods: get item, set item, del item, slangs, insert, append, and str. But the advantage of using the subclass inheriting mutable string is we don't need to write the if condition every time. Suppose we want to execute this program. We want to test some data, right? We have created a new object of validated list and then we have passed a iterable list of items. All right. We are using append method. We are adding new item and then we are also adding new item into the index. Okay. If you run this program, it will run perfectly because this validation we are checking at the same time when we are appending or when we are initializing new item. It is in the same program. Okay. Suppose I am passing a wrong value which is greater than 100. This will not work. It will say that value must be less than 100. This validation comes from here. And we have not placed any if condition here as we were doing previously. So the problem in this mutable abstract class requires you to implement 5 methods. This get item, set item, del item, length. Okay, you have to implement all these methods. Without the implementation of this, you cannot run this program. It will first say that cannot instantiate abstract class validation list without an implementation for abstract method get item. It is also error prone. You may mistake multiple places to handle your logic for your validation or anything. So this we are not going to use for our program. Now let's see the same implementation with help of built-in list class. We have the subclass which inherits the list built-in type. We are validating a value if it is integer and it is less than equals to 100. This is the same logic. And what we have done, we have implemented these 3 methods: append, insert, and extend. Okay. So what we are doing here, with help of super method, we are appending any new item into the base list. And before that, we are validating if it is valid value, then only it will append. If you run this program, so it will run perfectly. You see, We are passing all valid values here. If you provide any invalid value into either of these three statements, so it will not run. It will show you that value must be less than 100. Okay, the program, you see that it is raising this error. So this type of subclassing is always better. It always manageable to implement your custom business logic. So these are actually the modified behavior, or you can say that these are the new functionality into your subclassing. We don't need to write any if condition. Okay, any of the function you put wrong value, it will not allow you to run. It will give you the same error. Okay, there is a one problem with this subclassing version which inherits list, right? Every time on every method we have to use super method. Without it we cannot extend functionality to its base implementation. Now let's talk about what user list gives us over this type of subclassing versions, right? Let me remove this snippet from collections, import user list. Okay, create a new subclass which inherits user list. We have this new subclass that inherits user list. We are placing the same validate method and we are implementing the functionality of append, insert, set item and extend. So user list acts as a wrapper around the built-in list type. It is especially handy when you want to customize list behavior without directly subclassing list. It is a list-like container that stores its data in a regular list accessible via the .data attribute. This class actually allows you to override or extend a list method more safely and cleanly than subclassing list directly. This user list has given you .data attribute to perform operation on itself. We are validating the items every time when you are performing base operations. Okay, let's run this program. We have created a new instance for this class. We have used append, we have used insert, we are assigning the value on the index, then we are using slicing as well, right? And we are passing all valid values. If you print v2, it will run perfectly, right? We are passing valid values. So in any of the statement you pass wrong value, so it will not allow you to add. You see, value must be 0 to 100, right? Because you have placed the validation logic into your subclass itself, right? You don't need to write if condition every time. You can subclass user list to enforce some rules as well. If you don't want to allow user to input any new element into your list, then you have to just say insert not allowed. You have to raise exception explicitly, right? When you are going to perform this insert operation, it will not allow you to add new item into the list, right? Let me put valid value. Okay, I'm performing insert, so it will show you one message, insert not allowed. I have a useful real-time example to use user list, right? Let me remove it. This is a very common scenario where we can use user list. We have a audit list. Whenever you are appending or you are removing any item from your list, and you are just putting a log. Okay, when you are adding, you are saying that appended one item. If you are removing, then you are saying that you are removing. This type of audit logs you can handle with help of this user list. Here we are adding few items into the audit list. We are appending, we are removing, and then finally we are getting all the logs from this class. If you're in the program, you will get all the logs. Appended 3, removed 1. So we added 2 and we removed 3. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned list like container, which allow you to override or extend list methods more safely and cleanly than subclassing list directly. So hit a like button and give me the comment down below of video. Don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.